everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering the Testament of Job, chapters 39 through 53. And we are finishing the Testament of Job.
You know, in comparison to Job, this one is a lot more interesting.
It is. It's a lot less dialectical.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. We get narratives about Satan and Job's wife.
Poor Job's wife.
Yeah, right.
She had to sell herself into slavery.
Yeah.
And give up her hair.
Yeah, horrible stuff.
You know.
Also, Job
and also
loafing around.
In her little lament that she does, she doesn't complain about selling herself into slavery. She complains about getting her hair cut.
Yeah, and about Job being, or Job not doing anything to change his position.
Yeah. So I have the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha by James H. Charlesworth with the Testament of Job, translated by R.P. Spittler.
Yeah, these names.
Yeah.
Like, we've had quite a few of them that are just strange. I'll put it that way. Unusual.
Yeah.
No name hate here, though.
No name hate. Well, chapter 39 here is where we're starting, and it's the beginning of a new section. The section title is a huge spoiler.
Oh, no. I don't like spoilers.
So, cover your ears for the next, 30 seconds if you don't want to be spoiled for what this chapter has.
Yeah, sure, Reuben. I'll cover my ears.
All right. The title of this section is Sittis laments her children, dies, and is buried.
Damn, I heard every word.
Oh, no. How dare you?
I have no idea how I heard every word there. It should be impossible.
Should be. But, yeah, this resumes and completes the Sittis episode, earlier treated at 21 through 26.
Yeah, I think during this last section is where we finally see Elihu as well.
Elihu?
Yeah, he comes in because he was like the last guy in the Job narrative to come in, and after his friends, whatever they were saying wasn't really convincing Job. Now here comes Elihu with the most convincing argument.
All right, so there's only a couple of interesting notes about this chapter, and I'll bring them up when we get to them.
Great.
But otherwise, I'm basically just going to read it through. So here we go. Chapter 39. While I was saying these things to them, my wife Sittis arrived in tattered garments, fleeing from the servitude of the official she served, since he had forbidden her to leave lest the fellow king see her and seize her. When she came, she threw herself at their feet and said, weeping, "Do you remember me, Eliphaz, you and your two friends, what sort of person I used to be among you and how I used to dress? But now, look at my debut and my attire."
Well, I assume they would remember her.
Yeah.
Unless, they just never spoke to her.
Memory loss.
Yeah. Then, when they made a great lamentation and were doubly exhausted, they fell silent, so that Eliphaz seized his purple robe, tore it off, and threw it about my wife. So there's a note here. It says, Jewish funeral interests apparent here are illustrated at Tobit 1:17 through 19 and Ecclesiastes 38:16 through 23. Here, as also the Testament of Job 19:2, 24, and 53, 1 through 4, it is a question of sincere and traditional laments, even if fantastically the animals share in the lamentation, as in 40:10.
What was the citation to Ecclesiastes?
38:16 through 23.
Ecclesiastes, or is that?
Eccle?
Huh. Okay, so it must be the other one.
Or Ecclesiasticus.
Yeah, okay.
Could be.
The Apocrypha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she began to beg them, saying, I plead with you, order your soldiers to dig through the ruins of the house that fell on my children, so that at least their bones might be preserved as a memorial, since we cannot because of the expense. Let us see them, even if it is only their bones. Have I the womb of cattle or of a wild animal that my 10 children have died, and I have not arranged the burial of a single one of them? So that's...
Didn't arrange a burial because she wasn't in the position to, or there was like too much stuff going on.
Well, they couldn't afford the
Yeah.
cost of getting them exhumed from the ruins.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Hard times.
yeah, definitely hard times. And they left to dig, but I forbade it, saying, do not trouble yourselves in vain, for you will not find my children, since they were taken up into heaven by the Creator, their King. There's a note here. Body and soul, apparently, since 1, the search for bones would be fruitless, and 2, it is the children, not their souls or spirits, merely that have been taken to heaven. Yet, this seems contradicts the account of Job's demise, where, although his soul was borne off in a chariot to the east in chapter 42, his body was at once prepared and buried after 3 days in a beautiful sleep. At the outset of the story, an angel had promised Job he would be raised up in the resurrection, an echo of Job 42:17 in the Septuagint. Though nothing direct is said of the future of the wicked in the Testament of Job, the hymn against Elihu in chapter 43 speaks more of banishment, of separation from the holy ones, than it does of extinction or of consignment to any special abode of the wicked dead, either with or without a resurrection. Except for the assumption of the children, the view of life after death expressed in these passages in the Testament of Job is not unlike that of in Jubilees, 1st Enoch, and the Testament of Abraham, in which the bones and the bodies rest in the earth, but the spirits rise in conscious joy. If the ascent to heaven of the children, leaving no bones behind, seems inconsistent with the other references, it's only because the Testament of Job reflects a stage in the development of Jewish eschatology, where considerable diversity appeared. Compared to Qumran thought, the Testament of Job openly asserts the resurrection of the righteous, where Qumran tacitly assumes it, or by virtue of intense eschatological immediacy, obviates it. The Testament of Job never reaches the execratory vocabulary of damnation for the wicked characteristic of the Qumran text, e.g. 1QS 4:11-14. Finally, Qumran knows nothing comparable to the bodily assumption into heaven, following death, of Job's deceased children. While ancient worthies such as Elijah, Paul, and Abraham were said to have been taken up, the ascension of Jesus, Acts 1:11, should not be overlooked in this case. With Jesus, there was no discussion about body and or soul, whereas Paul twice wondered if he were in the body during the ascent. The model of Jesus, ascension after death, consequent to resurrection, may betray a Christian hand somewhere in the editorial history of the Testament of Job.
Yeah. So that view of, once you die, you just ascend right away.
Mm-hmm.
The view wasn't, super popular back then, especially in Jewish communities. But then it did become more popular later, where they did start to believe that once you die, you just immediately are in heaven, both in body and spirit, which I find would have been hard to justify with, bones, but I don't know. I think it's about, they believe that you would get like a new body, I guess, which if I'm
a
that
heavenly
person,
body.
yeah, but which if I'm that person and I see my old body, I'm like, this is kind of freaky because you're looking at yourself being dead.
Yeah. But also, this is like modern Jewish eschatology, right? Where they don't do cremation because they believe in the literal resurrection of the body.
Yeah. At some point.
Some point, someday. Then again, they answered.
I want my ashes turned into a hookah.
I'll turn your ashes into a hookah.
Okay, like blown into the glass.
Okay.
Okay, good. I think that'd be really cool.
But I'll give it to Chris so it'll never be cleaned.
I guess that's fine. At least it'll be smoked.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Then again, they answered me and said, "Who then will not say you are demented and mad when you say my children have been taken up into heaven? Tell us the truth now." Chapter 40.
Hopefully this is where we get the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Damn.
And I replied and said, "Lift me up so I can stand erect." And they lifted me up, supporting my arm on each side. And then, when I had stood up, I sang praises to the Father. And after the prayer, I said to them, "Look up with your eyes to the east and see my children crowned with the splendor of the Heavenly One."
You know, I don't remember if this was in the actual book of Job, where like if he was laying down, did he ask for their help to stand up? I don't remember that part, but like for the sake of this, let's say it's not in there. Then it sounds a lot like that part in, I forget which book it was, but with Moses, right? Where like he had to, he was holding up his arms, he was doing something. I think it was like during a battle, and people had to hold up his arms during it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, for like hours.
Yeah.
So there's some interesting things here. For this first part here, where he says, "I sang praises to the Father." P reads, "I sang praises to the first to the Lord and to God." S reads, "To God first." Kraft conjectures in V, "I first gave thanks to the Lord." On Father in Testament of Job, see a different thing, singing praises to the Father, with a similar line in the speculative Hellenistic Theosophic tract Poimandres 126, which says of the climax of the ascended soul upon its arrival at the eighth sphere, "And it sings to the Father with those who are there." Now, Poimandres is the first book in the Corpus Hermeticum, right? So interesting that we would maybe have some kind of relationship between the Corpus Hermeticum and the Testament of Job, which I don't think we've seen referenced even once
we
in
haven't.
anything else.
Don't we have the Corpus Hermeticum?
Yeah, it's on the bookshelf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, for looking to the east, it's the same direction towards which Job is carried off at death. At least at Luke 178, the east had messianic connotations. Literal aid from the east, fellow Jews in Babylon, was recalled in 1 Baruch. Josephus mentions the prayers of the Essenes directed towards the sun. And according to Athanasius, Questiones ad Antiochum, the Jews prayed towards the east. Christian practice in patristic times included baptizing toward the east and orienting churches in that direction. Contrast the north-south orientation of most graves at Qumran.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of cultures did have like they valued like certain directions for whatever. Like in Egypt, they had the west be death because that's where the sun would go down, right?
Yeah.
So they would have people buried in the western region. If someone died, they were said to be going west. Yeah, it seems like a lot of cultures had that kind of like they had that importance to directions.
Yeah.
Oh no! Even puts new connotation on Five Goes West.
Well,
he dies.
Yeah. But even in modern Judaism, they have their synagogues set up so that they're praying towards the east, But that the explanation is that they're praying towards the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
So would that be different in other parts of the world then? Like if you're,
Presumably.
yeah, because otherwise, I mean, because technically, you could have like a whole bunch of ways to get to Jerusalem if you're just facing it, right? Because it's a globe, so you'd just,
Yeah. I mean, you could look west too.
yeah, exactly.
Though I guess that works out in the synagogues out here because the rabbi, right, is facing the congregation and the congregation is facing the rabbi. So one's looking east and one's looking west, right?
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, and when she saw that, Sittis, my wife, fell to the ground, worshiping, and said, "Now I know that I have a memorial with the Lord. So I shall arise and return to the city and nap a while, and then refresh myself before the duties of my servitude." And when she left for the city, she went to the cow shed of her oxen, which had been confiscated by the rulers whom she served, and she lay down near a certain manger and died in good spirits.
Because apparently that's where you die in good spirits.
I guess so. When her domineering rulers sought her but could not find her, he went out when it was evening into the folds of the herds and found her sprawled out dead. And all who saw cried out in an uproar of lament over her, and the sound reached through the whole city. When they rushed in to discover what had happened, they found her dead and the living animals standing about weeping over her.
Even the animals themselves.
Yeah, so sympathetic participation of animals is an occasional feature of certain popular sectarian literature.
I mean, maybe it's like the whole mountain singing kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Ignatius in Romans 4:2 seeks the aid of beasts in becoming the purebred of Christ. Mark 1:13, Jesus with the wild beasts. 2 Enoch 58:6, where beasts are said to survive to accuse their abusers. So interesting bits there. And so, bearing her in procession, they attended to her burial, locating her near the house that had collapsed on her children. And the poor of the city made a great lamentation, saying, "Look, this is Sittis, the woman of pride and splendor. She was not even considered worthy of a decent burial."
So, they're just now getting to the collapsed building, right?
Mm-hmm.
This has been a while, though.
This has been decades.
Yeah. So it's just been sitting there.
Yep.
And nobody cared enough to do anything about it.
Guess not.
Huh. Wow.
It sounds a lot like what happens in real life.
But this was like a fairly important building. Like this is where Job lived, and he was like the king apparently, and he was this very giving king. Like, why wouldn't anybody care?
Oh, because everything valuable got ransacked.
Yeah. Satan.
Oh yeah, right. Of course, Satan. Yeah, can just explain it as Satan.
So then you will find in the miscellanies the lament made for her. Now, there's a note here. The miscellanies, literally things omitted, used in the Septuagint as a Greek title for the two books commonly called 1st and 2nd Chronicles. So called because the books of Chronicles were to supply additional events omitted from 1st and 2nd Kings.
Wait, so the name of 1st and 2nd Chronicles in the Septuagint, you said?
Yeah, is apparently it translates to things omitted.
Huh, okay.
Yep. The Testament of Job shows high interest in fabulous books. Besides these unidentified miscellanies, also mentioned are the miscellanies of Eliphaz, the hymns of Cassia, and the prayers of Amalthea's horn. Parallels at 49:3 and 53 suggest the Spirit as a title at 48:4. The great things could be yet another such title.
Yeah, Greek matters omitted. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So, yeah, lots of lost books. For is it not written?
I think it is. I've been told it is.
Yes. Anyways, now we're in another section. Job's recovery and vindication with chapter 41.
About time. Been waiting on bated breath here.
Yes. So this chapter is titled Elihu's Insult. Eliphaz and the rest sat beside me after these things, arguing and talking big against me. Ooh, talking big. After 27 days, they were about to arise and go to their own countries, when they were implored by Elihu, saying, "Stay here till I clarify this issue for him." You held on quite some time while Job boasted himself to be a just man. But I will not hold on. From the start, I too made lamentation for him, remembering his former prosperity. And here now he speaks out in boastful grandeur, saying he has his throne in heaven. Listen to me now, and I will tell you about his imaginary estate. Then Elihu, inspired by Satan, spoke out against me insulting words, which are written down in the miscellanies of Eliphaz.
Oh, okay. So in this book, Eliphaz Elihu is geared by Satan.
Yeah, there's a note here that says, in the canonical Job, Elihu makes a very graphic and explicit claim to inspiration. Quote, "For I am filled with words, choked by the rush of them within me. I have a feeling in my heart like new wine seeking a vent and bursting a brand new wineskin. Nothing will bring relief but speech. I will open my mouth and give my answer." And there's another quote, "But now I know that it is a breath in man, the inspiration of Shaddai, that gives discernment." End quote. While the biblical book attributes the inspiration to God, Job 32:8, the Testament of Job ascribes it to Satan.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, there are several things now where something that should be ascribed to Satan is ascribed to God, and something that should be ascribed to God is ascribed to Satan.
Yeah, that's very interesting that the author of the Testament of Job decided to do that.
Yeah. Chapter 42.
Because there's no way you could conveniently misread that. Like, this was very deliberate.
Yeah.
They just did a flip.
No. So now we're in chapter 42. The kings forgiven through Job's intercession. After Elihu ended his arrogant speech, the Lord, having appeared plainly to me through a hurricane and clouds, spoke.
This is the same thing at the speech through Satan, right? This is the same thing that happened with his wife, right? Because the moment that she started criticizing him,
it's Satan.
Yeah, it's got to be Satan.
Yeah.
Like, you're criticizing me? Satan.
Yeah.
Demon spawn. Like, what a way to dodge criticism. Like, it still happens all the time today, right? But, like, that's funny that it happened, or that we have this narrative about it happening there.
Yeah. So God appears through a hurricane and clouds.
Yeah.
Spoke and censored Elihu, showing me that the one who spoke in him was not a human being, but a beast.
Oh, wow.
And when the Lord spoke to me through the cloud, the four kings also heard the voice of him who spoke. After the Lord finished speaking to me, he said to Eliphaz, "You there, Eliphaz, you and your two friends, why did you sin? You have not spoken truly regarding my servant Job. Arise and have him offer up sacrifices on your behalf, so your sin might be taken away. Except for him, I would have destroyed you." So they brought me the things for sacrifice, and I took them and made an offering on their behalf, and the Lord received it favorably and forgave their sin.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Easy forgive.
Now I'll do one more and then hand it off to you.
Sounds good.
Because last time there was a hymn, you read it. And now, with chapter 43, I have a hymn against Elihu.
Man, Elihu is such a dick in this book, apparently.
Yeah.
He was the guy that he really got Job back on track last time.
Mhm.
But no, in this one, words of Satan.
Yeah. Then, when Eliphaz, Baldad, and Sophar knew that the Lord had showed them favor regarding their sin, but had not considered Elihu worthy, Eliphaz replied and spoke up with a hymn, while the other friends and their troops sang to him in response near the altar. Eliphaz spoke in this manner.
Sorry.
Omicron.
I was drinking something. It went down the wrong tube.
Yay. I could just mute you.
Nice coughs, man.
I'm dying.
Now you're going to do it again?
More water? That'll help.
It was soda before.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Our sins were stripped off and our lawlessness buried. Elihu, Elihu, the only evil one, will have no memorial among the living. His quenched lamp lost its luster, and the splendor of his lantern will flee from him into condemnation. For this one is the one of darkness and not of light, and the doorkeepers of darkness shall inherit his splendor and majesty. His kingdom is gone, his throne is rotted, and the honor of his tent lies in Hades. He loved the beauty of the snake and the scales of the dragon. Its venom and poison shall be his food. He did not take to himself the Lord, nor did he fear him, but even his honored ones he provoked to anger. The Lord has forgotten him, and the holy ones abandoned him, but wrath and anger shall be his tent. He has no hope in his heart, nor peace in his body. He had the poison of asps in his tongue. Righteous is the Lord, true are his judgments. With him there is no favoritism. What?
You know, about that.
This is literally a story about favoritism.
It is, yes.
Yes. Okay. He will judge us all together. Behold!
Behold!
The Lord has come. Behold!
Behold!
His holy ones are prepared while crowns lead the way with praises. Let the holy ones rejoice. Let them leap for joy in their hearts, for they have received the splendor they awaited. Gone is our sin, cleansed is our lawlessness, and the evil one, Elihu, has no memorial among the living.
Wow, they're really taking Elihu down here.
Yeah.
Like this is even to a further extent than they have, talked about Satan.
Yeah.
Like if anything, you should see Elihu as, possibly a victim of Satan.
Yeah, I mean, you would figure,
Yeah.
but apparently not.
No, apparently Elihu is just like on that same level.
Yeah. So that's the end of chapter 43. Hey, if you're enjoying the stream so far, give us a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, family, neighbors, kings.
Satan's, and other people who like...
Satans.
Yes, Satan's, and other people who like the poison of asps in their tongue, and people who have wrath and anger as their tent.
But no favoritism.
No favoritism, though. That's bad. Don't bad. So that was 43.
And now you're getting into 44.
Yes, 44. Let's go. After Eliphaz ended the hymn, while all were singing in response to him and encircling the altar, we arose and entered the city where we now make our home. And we held great festivities in the delight of the Lord. Once again, I sought to do good works for the poor. So yeah, everything was just okay now. There's not really like a narrative of how things become okay.
No,
they're just okay now.
He's apparently wealthy enough to do things for the poor again.
Apparently.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, right?
I feel like we're missing something here.
I also feel like we are. Because that was... Yeah, so you have these laments.
It's like, well, my wife died.
Yeah, right. My wife died, but God. I love God. And then,
And now I'm rich.
yeah,
Suddenly, out of nowhere.
that's how that happens. Missed a whole
Literally,
lot of stuff.
Like, it went like he's living on a dung heap and needs his friend's help to even stand up. And then all of a sudden he's able to engage in charity. Like, how?
Well, you see, that dung heap he was on has somehow amassed him a fortune. And those
Apparently.
worms are worth trillions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They're a delicacy.
And all my friends and those who had known me as a benefactor came to me, and they queried me, saying, "What do you ask of us now?" And remembering the poor again to do them good, I asked them, saying, "Let each one give me a lamb for the clothing of the poor who are naked."
Okay, but
Interesting.
there's like 4 of them, so...
Well, this is people who...
other people.
This is friends and people who had known him before.
So it could be a lot more
Yeah,
than
so
those, just the
Like
kings.
those people who helped tear his house down and kill his children.
Yes.
Yes.
So let each one give me a lamb for the clothing of the poor who are naked. So then every single one brought a lamb and a gold coin. And the Lord blessed all the goods I owned, and he doubled my estate. That's good economics right there.
Except, I mean, are we talking about his previous estate? Or
Or are we talking about like the small
We're talking about the dung heap.
Mm,
Just the dung heap.
yeah, twice
now
as
he
much
has-
dung.
2
it could
dung
be
heaps.
twice as much dung, or it could be like, he got
Twice as much shit.
maybe he got like a little bit of stuff, and then the Lord is like, you have a couple lambs. Let me give you a couple more.
Woohoo.
It could be that. But either way, this gold coin thing, apparently. Let's see.
I mean, it builds up his previous fortune, right?
It does, yeah. So literally a tetradrachma of gold. V makes it an alloy, so of gold and silver. And the Septuagint version of Job has a tetradrachma of uncoined gold.
Mm.
Okay, that is different. All right, so that was the end of chapter 44. So now it was pretty short.
Yeah.
These next few ones are going to they're all pretty short today, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, Justin, drinking, good. Drinking today. I approve of that. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're on to chapter 45. And now, my children, behold!
Behold.
I am dying. Above all...
Sorry, yeah, I like how drastic that was. That
Right.
was pretty great.
Right. I'm dying. Above all, do not forget the Lord. Do good to the poor. Do not overlook the helpless. Do not take to yourselves wives from strangers.
Ugh.
Yeah. Those conniving bitches. You tell him, Job.
Burgers in Christ. Nice.
Look, my children, I am dividing among you everything that is mine. Wait, okay, hold up. How many kids did he have left?
None. They all died. These are new children.
Oh,
Thanks
New
for the
children.
$5.
Yes, thank you
Thanks,
for the
Justin.
$5. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Perhaps the $5 will go to funding Job's Job's new children.
Yeah. He just now has more children. His wife died. I guess he gets a new one.
unspoken children have arrived. Also, he's dying.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is like, his deathbed speech and whatnot, which makes sense, right? We have those a lot. But where do these kids come from?
Yeah.
They died before.
Well, no, they got taken.
Oh, they got taken?
Right? That was the whole thing before, that they couldn't find their bones in the ruins of the house
that's
because
right.
they ascended.
Right. Okay.
So they descended to get
Yeah.
inheritance.
I mean,
Brilliant. You know, that's a very pro play.
When you're in heaven, you're gonna want those material possessions.
yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, look, my children, I'm dividing among you everything that is mine. So each one may have unrestricted control over his own share. That is usually how that works.
Doesn't this break the, inheritance commandments in the Torah?
I mean, does it?
I'm pretty sure.
Because like your kids still get something.
Well, you're supposed to like have at least the majority to go to the firstborn son, right? So,
I mean, I feel like if they did say that explicitly, then I feel like there have been times that didn't happen. Obviously,
Yes, they've violated their own inheritance laws several times.
Yeah, they violated a whole bunch of laws a whole bunch of times. So. Yeah, I don't remember that one specifically. Like I know that for stuff like kingship, that's how it was, right? But I don't remember that being for like everything someone owned. I don't remember that part.
hold on.
All right, well, while you do that, I'll continue here. So yeah, over his own share. So the final sentence serves as a transition to the following fourth and final major section of the Testament of Job.
The inheritance laws are 1. The eldest son was to inherit a double portion, Deuteronomy 21:15 through 17.
Double portion, okay.
Jewish tradition is that only sons born before the death of the father were so privileged. If there were no sons, daughters were allowed to inherit their father's land, Numbers 27:7 and 8.
Yeah, that's I forget the name of that. Was it Zephyrah or was that someone else? But I remember that part in Numbers where the dude had like 7 daughters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the absence of direct heirs, a distant kinsman could inherit the land, Numbers 27:9 through 11. Because the land was given by God to the individual families, the people were not allowed to dispose of their land permanently. If they needed to sell it, it would be returned during the year of Jubilee, Leviticus 25:23 through 38.
Right,
So basically, yes, he is in violation of the inheritance laws.
Gotcha. Okay. Because usually it's supposed to be double.
Yeah, for the eldest son.
Yeah. All right, so this next section in chapter 46 is the daughter's inheritance. And this section is entitled Job and His 3 Daughters, apparently.
Wow, here are the kids now.
I'll be back.
So, let's see, merely named prior to this point in the Testament of Job, the 3 daughters dominate the final main section. Chapters 1 through 45, which we just finished, have been related in the first person. With 46:1, however, there is a sudden shift to a third-person discourse, which is sustained through 53. Thereafter, the first person returns, but it is Job's brother Nereus who speaks throughout. Although such a shift may suggest compositional evolution, similar shifts of person occur in texts where unity is not in question. Yeah, so he lists out a couple here. Yeah, and the Testament of Job 46 through 53 seems rather to legitimate charismatic communion with the angels in a mode approaching the Merkaba, in a mode approaching Merkaba mysticism. So apparently, it's getting close to Merkaba stuff. Also, I don't know what's with all these bots in the chat.
They're not. I mean, they may be bots, but they keep posting to.
I feel like they're
adult
bots.
websites.
Yeah, I feel like it's bots.
Well, I'm gonna keep banning them.
Yeah, okay, that works. So on to chapter 46. And they brought forth the estate for distribution among the 7 males only. Of course, yeah, that makes sense. Gotta be only the males. For he did not present any of the goods to the females. They were grieved and said to their father, "Our father, sir, are we not also your children? Why then did you not give us some of your goods?" That's a very good question. It's a very good question. But Job said to the females, "Do not be troubled, my daughters. I have not forgotten you. I have already designated for you an inheritance better than that of your 7 brothers." Oh, wow. All right.
Wow.
Better. Something better?
Wait, so first guy gets a
Then
double portion?
Everything. No. Okay. So this is. Let's go back and read this quick section here. I'm dividing among you everything that is mine. I guess he's talking to all the children here, but it says in this verse that, so the estate was just for males, I guess, and they were dividing the estate. But let's see what they get. Let's see what the women get. Then when he had called his daughter, who was named Hemera, he said to her, "Take the signet ring, go to the vault, and bring the 3 golden boxes so that I may give you your inheritance." So she left and brought them back. So he got some golden boxes. I wonder what's in them. And he opened them and brought out 3 multicolored cords whose appearance was such that no man could describe.
Tell me what they look like.
No.
They're multicolored cords.
I thought you couldn't describe them.
No. So let's see. S has multicolored objects. V has 3 cord-like aprons. The meaning is unclear. Elsewhere, it is called a cord. Cincture, phylactery, while more likely words for girdle.
A phylactery?
Yep.
Yes. Each of them attain lichdom.
Wow.
While more likely words for girdle are not used. The term suggests a sash or cord derived from the tri-stranded therapeutic girdle that God provided Job when the challenge was given. Gird up your loins. By this object, Job was cured. Now, each of the 3 daughters is given as her inheritance one of the 3 cord-like strands, which she is to don as a sash. These cords are possibly a magical device for fending off evil, or healing, I guess.
Yeah.
Which would make that's a cool gift.
In any case, they give you God's favor.
That's true. Whose appearance was such that no man could describe, since they were not from earth, but from heaven.
Whoa.
That's pretty huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Shimmering. Well, oh, wow. Now they're going to describe it. Shimmering with fiery sparks.
I thought no man could describe it.
Listen. Yeah, no man can describe these fiery sparks like the rays of the sun. There's no way to describe them.
Add more adjectives and then say I'm not describing it.
You can't describe that.
This is like, H.P. Lovecraft, Cthulhu stuff.
Yes.
Does he say that it's
No,
indescribable?
he'll do things like an indescribable horror. It stood 50 feet tall and had octopus-like tentacles draping from its face. Right? You just said it's indescribable.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Very meta humor. I don't know. And he gave each one a cord, saying, "Place these about your breast, so it may go well with you all the days of your life." So they get these magic sashes.
Yes, magic lingerie.
Yeah, I should get me some of that. Now on to chapter 47.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Then the other daughter, named Keisha, said to him, "Father, is this the inheritance which you said was better than that of our brothers? Who has any use for these unusual cords? We cannot gain a living from them, can we?" Well, I mean, you won't make money off of them unless you sell them.
Mm-hmm.
Which you'd probably sell them for like a shit ton of money because
They're indescribable.
they're gods. God made them. So, but even if not, like they're supposed to like heal and stuff and protect you from evil.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's worth plenty of money.
I would say so. And their father said to them, "Not only shall you gain a living from these, but these cords will lead you into a better world to live in the heavens. Are you then ignorant, my children, of the value of these strings? The Lord considered me worthy of these in the day in which he wished to show me mercy and to rid my body of the plagues and the worms. You know what's interesting? In this narrative, he didn't actually get this. He got this in the canonical book of Job, but not in the Testament of Job. So without reading the Testament, without reading the canonical book of Job, this part of the Testament would not make sense.
I could see this being good to read as like a whole work almost. Like it references the original is all I'm saying.
It does,
you could read it like back and forth. They'd reference each other.
In fact, we've done that.
Well, we didn't because we already read Job.
I know, but we already kind of did that. I mean, we go back and
I understand
and look. All right, so they're getting these, which I think are pretty neat cords, apparently sashes. So I wouldn't be too mad about receiving something like this. That's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, yeah, he's talking about you stupid bitches. You don't even know how much this is worth.
I guess.
Calling me, he furnished me with these cords and said, "Arise, gird your loins like a man. I shall question you, and you answer me." So I took them and put them on, and immediately from that time the worms disappeared from my body, and the plagues too. And then my body got strength through the Lord, as if I actually had not suffered a thing. I also forgot the pains in my heart, and the Lord spoke to me in power, showing me things present and things to come.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's that kind of stuff is pretty common.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, it is.
But it is interesting that at least now we're getting at least some description of it, right?
Yeah.
It's the same site.
Yeah. But at least now we're in this book we're getting a description of these sashes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it could be read without Job. Now then, my children, since you have these objects, you will not have to face the enemy at all. But neither will you have worries of him in your mind, since it is a protective amulet of the Father. Rise then, gird yourselves with them before I die, in order that you may be able to see those who are coming for my soul, in order that you may marvel over the creatures of God. Ooh. So someone has to come get Job when he dies.
Yeah.
I'm going to, check some notes here.
You check those notes, Lawrence.
I will. Thank you.
Check them hard.
So let's see.
Check them like a kick.
Yeah, protective amulet of the Father. Oh, okay. So instead of marvel over the creatures of the Lord, one manuscript has wonders. That's the note for that section. I thought it would be more interesting, but apparently not.
Nope.
Yeah, nothing else on. But it seems like something is going to come and get Job.
Mm-hmm.
So now on to chapter 48, and it looks like we're going to continue our little narrative about the sashes.
Let's do that.
And here they're called the Charismatic Sashes, unless they're in different sashes entirely. The accounts of the daughters putting on their sashes show several common elements. Name of the daughter, donning the sash, having the heart changed, no longer concerned with worldly things. There are a few others as well. The reported preservation of the speeches and mythical books. Yeah. I guess these next few chapters are going to have a lot of similarities between them.
Cool.
Okay. Thus, when the one called Hemera arose, she wrapped around her own string, just as the Father said, and she took on another heart, no longer minded toward earthly things, but she spoke ecstatically in the angelic dialect.
What?
Similarly, the dialect of the archons, the dialect of those on high. Okay. So these are other references to things that the other daughters get. the source of Paul's tongues of angels, possibly. Paul, however, does not use dialect, which in the New Testament is Luke's word alone. In the account of the Pentecostal oh my God, this word is so hard to say. Glossolalia, Luke uses the word expressly for humans of varied nationality and not for angels. Contrast his use of magnify. All right, I guess I'll have to. In the Apocalypse of Abraham 17, which we read, an angel teaches Abraham a heavenly song, recital of which leads him to a vision of the Merkabah. The singing of hymns by females in the language of the cherubim, as well as the notion of the chariot of the Father, is known also to the resurrection of Bartholomew. And that's a Coptic Apocrypha, apparently. So apparently, they can, in this text, they can speak angel now, sending up a hymn to God in accord with the hymnic style of the angels. And as she spoke ecstatically, she allowed the Spirit to be inscribed on her garment. So this is a weird one. So Spirit here could be the subject. As she spoke ecstatically, the Spirit let it be inscribed on her garment. In view of parallel titles of poems, Craft followed here takes the Spirit as the title of a poem or hymn. And then V omits the entire sentence.
Wow.
Classic. Yeah, inscribed on her garment. That's pretty interesting. Then we are on to chapter 49. So yeah, really
short chapters.
Yeah. And these are also going to be incredibly short.
Yep.
Then Keisha bound hers on and had her heart changed so that she no longer regarded worldly things. And her mouth took on the dialect of the archons, and she praised God for the creation of the heights. So if anyone wishes to know the creation of the heavens, he will be able to find it in the hymn of Keisha.
It'd be nice to be able to read that, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it would be nice. There's no other reference to it or anything.
Yeah.
There's not even a note on that specifically, except for a cross-reference to the hymns of David.
Oh.
Yeah, because we were so concerned with the notation there.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to read that one.
We don't have that option.
We don't. Now we're on to chapter 50.
Yep.
Then the other one also named Amalthea's horn.
Yep. Cornucopia.
Bound on her cord. This is the other daughter.
Yeah, this was mentioned multiple times.
Yeah. And her mouth spoke ecstatically in the dialect of those on high, since her heart also was changed, keeping aloof from worldly things. For she spoke in the dialect of the cherubim, glorifying the master of virtues by exhibiting their splendor. And finally, whoever wishes to grasp a trace of the paternal splendor will find it written down in the prayers of Amalthea's horn, which
another thing that we can't read.
Right, another thing that we can't read.
What are you, illiterate? No, I know it just doesn't exist.
Yes.
Anymore.
So, yeah, there's another book that we can't read. Unfortunately, we don't have. Hello, Landon. Good to see you.
Yeah, and we'll be seeing Landon on Sunday.
We will be, yeah, to finish the Bible.
Yeah.
No, to finish the Old Testament.
Well,
but
the Hebrew Bible.
the Hebrew Bible, yeah. Man, well, we're getting pretty close to the end of the Bible, considering.
I mean, the New Testament is a fifth the length of the Old
it's
Testament.
like almost nothing in comparison. So that should be a breeze. Although it did take us 4 years.
Yeah.
So this might take us a year, almost a year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Hand it to me.
Okay.
I'll take over the last 3 chapters.
Yeah, for the epilogue. And yeah, also those there were some things in there that could be regarded as
51.
titles by some.
Yes, 51.
In the
Right.
last few chapters we were in.
Right.
Yeah.
Some titles. Now we're into the epilogue. 51, 52, and 53. Chapter 51, Nereus's literary activity. After the three had stopped singing hymns, while the Lord was present, as was I, Nereus, the brother of Job, and while the holy angel also was present, I sat near Job on the couch. And I heard the magnificent things, while each one made an explanation to the other. And I wrote out a complete book of most of the contents of hymns that had issued from the three daughters of my brother, so that these things would be preserved. For these things are magnificent things of God.
Most of the contents. Not all of them. Most of them.
Yeah. The name Nereus is a Greek mythological deity. Nereus, sometimes said to be the oldest of the gods, was an apt choice for the name of an oracular recorder, since this god himself was said to have had the gift of prophecy. Like Job, the god Nereus had daughters, the 50 Nereids, whose names were recorded. Like Satan, Nereus could transform himself into many shapes, fire, water, etc. Paul knew a Christian of this name at Rome, Romans 16:15. Nereus is called Nahor at Testament of Job 1:6.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
SV
sea god.
in Slavonic.
Nereus, yeah.
Yep. Where he's made a brother to Esau by S and a brother to Job by V.
Yeah, sea god, son of Pontus, the sea, father of the Nereids, yeah.
Yep. Chapter 52. Job's death, soul ascent, and burial. Yeah.
Now it's his turn,
Yeah, it is.
because his wife kind of just died. So now it's his turn.
Yep. After 3 days, as Job fell ill on his bed without suffering or pain, however, since suffering could no longer touch him on account of the omen of the sash that he wore. Wow, that's specific. After those 3 days, he saw those who had come for his soul, and rising immediately, he took a lyre and gave it to his daughter Hemera. To Cassia he gave a censer, and to Amalthea's horn he gave a kettle drum, so that they might bless those who had come for his soul. And when they took him, they saw the gleaming chariots which had come for his soul, and they blessed and glorified God, each one in her own distinctive dialect.
So apparently these are different, maybe not even different languages that they're speaking. Maybe they are. Are they supposed to be different languages?
Different
Heavenly
dialects of heavenly language.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Why would those exist?
Right, that's a very good question.
Let's keep that in mind, how many languages there are later.
What is
Yeah.
the necessity of that? Maybe it's
One would think that would just make things less convenient for God.
right, especially after the whole Tower of Babel thing.
Yeah. Okay. After these things, the one who sat in the great chariot got off and greeted Job as the three daughters.
Hold on, it's not that kind of podcast.
Greeted Job as the three daughters and their father himself looked on, though certain others did not see. Yeah, I guess it's a restriction of the vision only to certain individuals. And taking the soul, he flew up, embracing it, and mounted the chariot and set off for the east.
This is a very holy scene. So this is another Ascension scene, obviously.
Mhm.
But like even
Here they only take his soul, right? But his body, prepared for burial, was borne to the tomb as his three daughters went ahead and girded about and singing hymns to God. So, like here, it's not like Enoch, where Enoch like physically ascends.
right.
Here, an angelic representative comes and takes Job's soul.
Literally, and they see it. They see it happen.
They see it happen, and he gets into a chariot and flies up to the east. The body dies. Chapter 53. And I, Nereus, his brother, with the 7 male children, accompanied by the poor and the orphans and all the helpless, were weeping and saying, Woe to us today, a double woe! Gone today is the strength of the helpless. Gone is the light of the blind. Gone is the father of the orphans. Gone is the host of strangers. Gone is the clothing of widows. Who then will not weep over the man of God? And
I won't.
Well, you won't.
But it looks like all of them are.
Yeah, all of them. And as soon as they brought the body to the tomb, all the widows and orphans circled about, forbidding it to be brought into the tomb. But after 3 days, they laid him in the tomb in a beautiful sleep, since he received a name renowned in all generations forever. Amen.
Man, that's such a weird end because, like, okay, so he was a big name,
Yeah.
but then when Satan came around, he stopped being a big name and everyone stopped caring about him. But then
It's like a real powerful spell, almost, in this version.
I guess kind of.
I can't explain it any other way. There was no setup.
Yeah, there's not really a good answer to this, even like within the narrative, right?
Right.
Like, and then God shows up eventually, and he's like, "You're fine with me," and then apparently he's rich again, and all of his kids are around.
I don't know how his kids got back at all. I guess we were told they ascended. I don't know how that explains how they left or got back.
They're
But,
just back now.
yeah.
They're just
then
back.
I kind of get how he got his wealth back. If everybody basically gave him a gold and a sheep, then he'd have like 20,000 sheep and 20,000 gold or something. You know, a bunch of
Yeah.
people all gave him a sheep and a gold. He could get double his wealth, and I think they meant double his previous wealth, even though it wasn't stipulated at the time.
Yeah.
So, final
I liked
thoughts.
It was pretty good, actually. I think, although I wish it had more as an addition, it had a good amount, and so I'd give it like a 7 or something.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7. I mean, it's not as philosophically dense as Job.
No,
That's true.
But
it's kind of an addition.
Yeah, it's like an addition to Job, right?
You know, this kind of if we kind of compare the main theme of this book with the one in Job. So
DLC.
Job, you know, concentrates a lot on the problem of evil, right?
Right.
But this one is kind of like if you do good things, eventually they'll come back to you.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way.
I mean, the same thing happened in the book of Job, though. He does like get his comeuppance at the end.
Yeah.
Now here, there's less of an actual dialogue about like the moral implications of anything with Job's friends. I mean, it's really more of a narrative about, oh, this happened to Job, but he was so righteous that everything worked out in the end.
Yeah.
So in that sense, like, it's a slightly less interesting book, and a slightly more entertaining one at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with all the Satan stuff, and you have him, you know, kind of being conniving. I like that. We get a character.
I do feel like it must have come later, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it makes him more overpowered in some ways.
Not even.
Well, it makes him seem stronger, in my opinion.
I mean, it makes him. He's more of a defined character here, but he's not stronger in any way.
Well,
like,
here's what I mean. He completely thwarts Satan the first time.
Oh, are we talking about Job?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Satan.
Oh,
Okay.
No, Satan seems strictly weak in this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you're talking about, my bad. If you're talking about Satan, then yeah, no, he's nerfed.
Yeah, Satan's nerfed.
Yeah.
It's like he's down to bread maker illusions. Like, I can appear as someone else. That's like a first level spell, you know?
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
job, man.
Yeah.
And Job can see right through it.
Yeah, you see Satan and think like, oh, that's a really nice wheel you have there. You know, it'd be even better with some corners.
Well, so next week we're starting the Trees of Shem.
Yeah. I should
Yes.
probably
I
grab
put
that
the
shit.
bookmark.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's an astrological book.
Nice. Those are cool.
Yep. Not an astronomical book, but an astrological one.
Oh yeah, classic astrology.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna
as
learn so
incompetent
much.
as the Satan in South Park. That's right, Landon.
Mhm.
Almost.
So and on Sunday,
So what I'm wondering is, okay, so these are fairly short. So did you want to cover this in one episode? I think we can cover in one episode.
yeah,
right?
we can cover it in one
We were
episode.
supposed to, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
And then there's other things to cover afterwards. Maybe Ahikar.
That's true. Ahikar would be a very interesting one.
Yeah. But anyways, on Sunday, we are finishing the Old Testament. It's been a long time coming. And
Yep.
Landon's going to be there. And all the rest of our viewers are going to be there. And
Wait, hold on. Landon isn't interested in astrology?
Well,
What?
Guys, that's
Guys.
because Landon doesn't appreciate that everything that he knows about astronomy only exists because of this astrological history.
You know what I think? I think I always thought that Landon has a degree in astrology.
Yeah. Isn't he an astrologist?
That is what I was. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Now how will I tell my horoscope if that's not real?
No, astrology is more useful than religion. You know why?
Just because you could tell the direction.
No, it's because you can
Time
charge
of the
people
year.
tons of money to get their birth chart read.
Wait, hold on. You can
What are you
also
telling me?
charge people tons of money for just believing in your religion sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, but there's more religions for them to choose than astrologers.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So less market competition.
But even that, I mean, there are a lot of astrologers,
Yeah.
and they're all equally as bullshitty. But how many people go to like multiple astrologers?
Plenty.
Yeah, I need to consult my 12
Okay.
astrologers for otherwise I don't have a council of astrologers at the ready.
Man, that's
I know more than a few astrologers. And you know what? There's totally different kinds of astrology. There's Vedic astrology,
Sure.
right? And
That's why I need a council.
your
Jeez, come on.
your Western astrology, totally different. You have astrologers who use like up-to-date star maps instead of like ancient textual sources.
You know, at least that's something.
Yeah.
Gotta give them that one. At least they're trying.
They're certainly trying.
To scam people. Yeah, they're certainly giving it a real
Credit.
real go.
Get some credit for scams.
Yep. But on Sunday, Lawrence, you'll have earned yourself an honorary associate's degree in theology.
Apparently,
Yep. You'll graduate from the associate's program here
fantastic.
at Atheist Sunday School.
Landon, how random is your random number generator? It might be worth paying for.
It's probably more random than like all of them put together.
Look, that random number generator, it tells you everything about the future.
Like,
so
where does that randomness come from? We gotta know. Come on.
You're not supposed to ask questions like that.
I don't have faith. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have a Patreon. Check us out on Patreon. You can be on the show. You could
be like Landon.
Yeah,
You want to be like Landon. Landon's like
he's an astrologer.
he's a 5-headed genius, that guy. So you want to be like Landon.
Yeah.
And you know, if he's a patron, then you should be too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid logic right there.
Solid logic.
Yeah.
And you know, if you want to support us in other ways, you can buy yourself a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You can
Which,
check the
by the way-
merchandise that's about to be pinned right now.
Yeah.
That merchandise right there.
Get a really
That's
nice
a good
t-shirt.
one. It's a Behold.
The classic Behold t-shirt.
Yes, the Behold T-shirt. Not the Behold T-shirt, but the Behold T-shirt.
Classic Behold.
So classic. And if you want to support us in a different way, there's the Amazon wish list.
Yeah. We have a lot of stuff on the Amazon wish list. All links are in the description, by the way. I just added a Greek New Testament to the wish list as
We
well.
could definitely use that.
Yeah. And that would be I'm still taking Greek, next semester, but eventually I'll stop taking Greek because they're just gonna run out of classes, right? But like I want to keep up with it a little bit.
Yeah.
So having
So he's going to Greece. Just kidding.
no, fuck that, fuck travel.
So you're going to spend all of your free time at Greek restaurants.
That sounds more pleasant, but
Yeah, you'll have yourself some shawarma.
yeah, sure, some shawarma. Greek salad is pretty good.
Yeah.
I like stuff with feta.
Tomates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty good. But yeah, I'll have like I already have a Septuagint, and we can have a Greek New Testament, and I can just practice my Greek. And that's a good thing, I think.
Excellent.
So I don't get rusty, although I probably will. But
And
whatever.
if you don't have any money, we have Facebook and Twitter.
Completely free to follow us on those platforms.
Yeah. So that's all the shilling. Our shilling is over.
I think it is. Yeah.
Our pence are over. Get it? Shilling.
Ha ha. So funny.
Thanks for your 2 shekels.
The funniest man alive. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and we discovered that Chris is a Jew.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's right. Yeah. He
You're not
did.
supposed to say
was it
that.
like some
Literally
genealogy thing?
full-blooded Jew.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a Jew. That's
Turns
true.
out my great-grandmother was Jewish, but who
And his
cares?
grandmother was Jewish.
That makes, yep.
And
my mother
his mother was
that's-
Jewish.
Yep. That makes
which makes
me,
him Jewish.
Yep. it
Yeah,
does.
but apparently it's not like his mom was like a practicing.
No. I
no.
was not. I was not informed of this until they're all dead.
Right. Yeah.
I'm the only one left. So
Yeah. So and I mean, I'm guessing your dad
No,
pulled
he's
out
not.
some. No.
what's up?
Let me finish the sentence. I'm guessing your dad like pulled out his genealogy stuff.
I mean, this was just laying around documents from my grandparents' house.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know, we took all their documents
Yep.
because we were already kind of in charge. My parents were already in charge of their financial well-being in their late 80s already. So
Yes.
Gotcha.
yeah.
So now that Chris is Jewish, we'll see him wearing a yarmulke.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And
he's gonna.
I just
He'll
I
wear
mean,
a
it
tallis.
is-
it does
He'll
make
wear
me
a
think
tallis
differently
every
about
time.
myself a little.
And the hand wrap.
and the thing that goes around like your shoulder to the
Yeah.
little box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
be prepared for.
he'll
for
start growing out his sideburns.
I'm
so
not
that
doing
grow
any
his-
crazy stuff
Yeah.
with my life all of a sudden, but it's just like my whole life I didn't know. So it's kind of weird to find that out in your 30s when you're 30.
Yep.
that's true.
But according to Jewish law, he is Jewish.
Yep.
Yep. So
Yes, so
that officially makes you Jewish.
I know.
Yep.
That's why I showed you that document.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely were not expecting that.
No.
No.
That's true.
It blew my mind away. Yesterday, I've still kind of like a gong rang in my head and it's still resonating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of things clicked too, because my grandmother definitely did things that followed practice that wasn't just Catholic.
Yeah, and because like when you were a kid or something, you wouldn't be thinking of these as like Jewish practices
No.
or anything. So yeah.
No,
but
had-
now you do.
I had no idea why she really, really gave a shit about the beginning, like before Christmas started. She was doing stuff really early on in December, and I'm like, I wonder why. I just had no idea. She
Just
told me
celebrating
A lot of
Hanukkah.
people
basically
do that.
not telling me that she's celebrating things without. Yeah, exactly. She's kept it a secret the whole time. So kind of crazy to think about.
Yep. So, with that being said, that's all of our stuff, and we will see
you on Sunday with Landon,
Landon
finishing the Old
finishing
Testament.
the Old Testament.
Thanks for echoing.